Yo, fam, this is John the Soul. Hold on for a second. Okay, all right, now I can talk. Hey, listen, family, I talk to comic book creators, illustrators, writers, publishers, and sci-fi writers about their work and politics. That's it. If you don't like that shit, then get off from around here. Get out of my yard. I got a newbie in the marketplace. Somebody who is building on the idea of strong Black women. A brother who does it all. He draws, he writes, he's publishing, and he's getting all the pieces in place for his Kickstarter. I'm talking about the creator of ODINA, Onaji Rouse. What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Real good, man. Real good. Good, man. Good. Yeah, man. You know, I'm going to be perfectly frank, man. I usually, check in with people like after they get their Kickstarter done and after they got out another book. But I felt like I seen something special with this character. I don't know if it's the vibe and the air of these, warrior type women or what it is. So tell us about the comic. And how did you come up with the idea? And tell us about that initial process.
Absolutely. Basically, I grew up in a women, full of strong Black women. And so I have nieces. I have a bunch of nieces. So when it's not common that you don't see certain Black women being represented in sci-fi. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, people act like it's unheard of, especially like since Black Panther. They're just like, oh my God, this movie. And I'm just like, well, there's no representation. And when I look at my nieces and I see, the young ones coming up, they don't have no one to look at in the Avengers movies and stuff like that, or the DC movies. So I sat back and I was like, well, why don't I create a superhero for, my little sisters? Okay. So when I created the character, I wanted something that was kind of, because where I'm at right now, I'm in Atlanta. So, the urban Mecca. So I wanted something that kind of reflected, the young sister who is out here today. Right. So basically, I sat back and I looked back and I looked at, created, the vibe of the hip hop, women, and then took kind of like, just the young sister overall period. And I kind of put this character together and I wanted her to be as unique as possible. I didn't want her to just be like some typical Black chick in the comics with cornrows or like, an afro as they draw, as they draw them most of the time. Right. I want her to be like her own unique self. So I pretty much created this character. And I was sitting down one day and I was like, well, I'm just going to create it. Because originally I was working on another book I was putting together. Mm-hmm. But, creative differences with other people, whatever. But I was like, well, why don't I just kind of create the book and kind of, like put it through with that story. Okay. Kind of make it like a sidebar type thing. Mm-hmm. So that's when I created this character, and I was like, I wanted her to reflect like something different. Basically, gotcha. I didn't want her to be like same cookie cutter, type thing. And then I was like, well, I don't want her to be like, okay, you've seen Jessica Jones, correct?
Yep.
Okay, good show. Well, first season was good, but why can't we get a sister like that? Who kind of got a chip on the shoulder, but in that type of, storyline. So I was like, well, won't I create something like that as well? Just, what if she was a sister, basically?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. So with that in mind, I'm assuming you saw Black Panther.
Absolutely.
And what female characters, struck you, in the most profound way?
Probably be Okoye.
Okay, that was the general, right?
Yeah, the general. The sister who played, she's also in Rashad in The Walking Dead.
Right.
Her character, is kind of, she's kind of tied to the throne, but at the same time, she in her heart, she really is loyal to overall T'Challa. But she's torn, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, she has a job to do because she loves her country. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you have these friends and these allies.
Right. So now does your character ODINA, does she have any kind of similarities with maybe Okoye or maybe another character in Black Panther?
If anything, she probably would be a little bit more like because I'm telling you, like I pretty much she's so much not like them.
Okay.
She would probably the only one who she probably will be remotely close to would probably be Suri.
Okay.
And that's probably like as far as young and just gonna say whatever she wants to say and doesn't care about who she offends.
Yeah.
Because I basically based the character off of like all the personalities of my nieces. I got like 8 nieces, so imagine trying to fit. Yeah, and imagine getting together at Christmas time and stuff, and you seeing all these young women like between ages 24 and 5, like just attitudes off the chart. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. It's funny, man. My favorite characters were actually Shuri and I forget the queen's name, but Alan. Ramonda, exactly. Yeah. And the reason why they were my favorite was because, and again, of course, I appreciate everybody, Nakia and the women with the Dora Milaje or whatever. But it seemed like Shuri and Ramonda were the only ones that needed protection. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? All the other women, they kind of had it. They would, it was kind of. It reminded me of my pop. Pop used to say, "If you see me and the bear fighting, help the bear." Yeah. It seemed like all them other women, they was straight. They was like, well, damn, they don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
They don't need me. You know what I'm saying? So those women, I really, I connected with on that level. But so tell me a little bit about the process. You said that you started out working on another book, and then there were creative differences, and you decided to, I guess, go it alone. Tell me about that process.
Yeah. It's a lot of work when you are the only person doing it.
Because it doesn't sound like that you do comics for a living. Are you in another field?
Yeah, full time I work for it's a organization that helps people with digital media.
Gotcha.
But before I even started this job, I took the book on by myself because I was like, well, I kind of adopted this mentality like, well, if no one else is going to do it, I guess I'll do it. So, because the other book, it was taking too long. So I was like, well, I'm just going to write and draw it and then ink it and then just sell whatever I come up with on Indie Planet, which I have 2 of the ODINA books up there now, which are the ones I put together myself. Okay. So basically, I would write it and then I would start drawing.
Gotcha.
Then I would go ink. And I tell you, inking is the most tedious-ish I ever seen in my life. Like, I hate it.
It's funny. Everybody I talk to, they're in Adobe, this or another program. But when I looked at the back, like I'm looking at ODINA #1 now. And in the back, I see you got the blue, I used to know what those, I was the art director years ago. And, I remember walking like the galleys down to the typesetter and all kind of stuff. So you got the blue boards with the blue lines on them. What are you, mechanical board? Is that what these call them? That's it. I was like, wow, this brother's really going back. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted the
mechanical boards. Okay.
Well, I kind of wanted like for the color of the book, for these books, I wanted kind of to be like more like that original pop art type.
Okay.
Kind of style to it where it wasn't. Because right now all comics is a little too high maintenance. I mean, which the Kickstarter book is going to be it's a way bigger project on a bigger scale. But these books, I was just like, I need to get something out just to have the character out there, so I can start pushing for it.
Now, so you got 1 and 2 up on indieplanet.us right now, and that's ODINA, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to pick up the book, I got #1, and I'll get #2 because I want to find out what the green guy does. You know what I mean? After Dina, put her to sleep for a minute. You know what I mean? I want to see what the green guy does. So, what came first, the character idea or the story?
The character idea came first.
Okay. Yeah. So it's an ode to your nieces. And did they see the drawings?
They did.
What did they think? What was their reaction?
Oh, they loved it. They were proud of me. It was like one of my nieces, well, majority of them. The youngest one, she doesn't get it because she's 5, so
right.
She's young. So, but she just sees a colorful character basically.
Okay.
Yeah, but all the rest of them, they love it. They're just like, oh, okay, look at
You know, it's interesting. There's one other artist who put a book out whose character is similar in body type. Right. So now these aren't based on your nieces, right? I just want to get that straight.
No.
Okay, good. So when I saw the drawing, I was like, thickness! You know what I mean? When I first seen it. Right? Okay. And there's another artist who has a character similarly built, you know, with the sister has, you know, a very voluptuous figure, we'll put it like that.
Yeah.
And that's funny because you don't usually see that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Remember, I wanted my character to be like the essence of a young female in Atlanta. Like,
now has Atlanta? Let's go on to the Atlanta vibe. Has Atlanta changed much since the '90s? I haven't been there since '94. Has Atlanta changed much?
It has. I mean,
y'all still rocking the Jerry curls down there? You could be honest.
No.
The gold teeth.
Again, let's be clear. If they did, they would probably make it some type of style and funky because that's how some of the people all around here. Like they will rock their own little style and make it their own, and I gotta give them that. But I don't see no drip so far. So
okay. I was like in '94, y'all still spraying? I was like, wow. Okay. So Atlanta, the economy's good. I mean, it's not overcrowded. I was hearing like it's overcrowded and all the people from the north.
It is overcrowded because a lot of studios are moving here and they're filming.
Wow. Okay.
Because it's cheap, and they film most of Black Panther here. So
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they filmed it right out there at Palmwood Studio, which is one of Tyler Perry's studios. Like
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Like that battle scene right there where they're out and about. It's like it was filmed right out there on his complex or whatever.
That is powerful. I didn't even know that.
You remember when they've been filming a lot of the Marvel movies back to back here?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like was it Civil War? That scene at the beginning where they're fighting in the little African village.
Yeah. Where the Hulk blew up shit or whatever. Oh, you talking about when they were chasing the people in the dump truck and all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Yes, that was built. That whole little section was built right downtown in Atlanta, like right under the bridge, like in downtown. They created like a whole different like village underneath there, dude.
That's amazing. Yeah. So then I would think that there would be a lot of actors and actresses in that area trying to get on, or
that's
no?
The thing. You have more. It's an urban mecca. Like a lot of Black TV shows and movies are being filmed here as well, and and you do see them, but you don't see them like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now this is the sidebars I warned you about. Okay. Let me ask you this, man. You're a creative person. You obviously have some understanding of media. When do you think people will realize that you don't need fucking television anymore? That you can use the internet as your main vehicle of distribution? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, people, they why?
I'm gonna tell you why. It's kind of like a wave. It slowly starts in one area and then it works its way around.
Okay.
You see how with the musicians, they're able to get their stuff out now because a lot of musicians back in the '90s they got screwed. I mean, like every musician in the '90s, if you made it through the '90s with a little bit of money, you are a living testament. However, the artists nowadays, they're using YouTube, SoundCloud, a lot of these streaming services to get their music out as well as get paid. So you got the musicians doing that, and then you slowly start to see other media companies and comedians and vloggers start to do that. So it starts to, catch wind. So I think it's all about like slowly getting there.
All right. Let's get back to your book. So you wrote this yourself. Is there like a lack of artists down there? I mean, you did a good job, but is there a lack of artists? Is there a lack of talent? Do people charge too much? What's going on?
I think it's more so in Atlanta, you have people who they do similar things, but they either want to do their thing or they're asking for more money. And I totally get, people are, it's their art. It's their bread and butter, basically.
Right.
But however, look, coming from someone who is working full time, and I got to pay rent and utilities. Don't get me wrong. I gotta, do what I got to do at this point in time, and I can't pay someone. They're probably asking for what, $200 per $200 per page or something like that. Yeah, I did find one artist, a young female, a black female, who I wish she would have said yes. Like I would be able to draw your book, but she said, "Well, unfortunately, I'm kind of trying to do my own thing." So out of respect, out of trust the matter. So,
right.
But, yeah.
There's one brother that I've interviewed with, I think earlier this year or late last year. He was doing like $50 a page. His name will come to me. Yeah, he's a very good artist. His name will come to me during the course of the interview. I'll try to look him up. He was like engaged at the time, but that was like months ago. Let me go on my SoundCloud and find the brother. Now, sometimes when people do Kickstarters, they try to have the book all together. Other people, they present the concept. I'm sure there are people who are doing stuff in between. What is your process for getting ready for your Kickstarter?
I'm trying to get much of it done as possible. Like pages, I already got the first 2 pages done. So that way when the pages are done, the cover is done. I'm doing like an extra little book to go with the project, which is like a source book to introduce the characters. This is pretty much like me doing stuff to gear up towards this. So once all those pages are done, the only thing I need done at that point, as soon as before the Kickstarter gets jumping off, is lettering. Okay. And so once that gets done, I want to be shipped out automatically.
Gotcha. Now I see you have the book on Indie Planet. I bought the digital. I can buy the print. The Kickstarter is for a graphic novel, a different version of the book. What's the Kickstarter for?
The Kickstarter is going to be more so under it's like a collaboration with another company. It's still my company, Obsolete Studios, but it's going to be with a company called Powerverse.
Oh, okay. Vince White and them. Okay, I got you.
It's going to be like a collective. Pretty much there was a new dimension of group of indie creators, and I'm one of the people. The dime that we're in is called Dimension Dime 19.
Yep.
So you have other 5 creators in that dime, and I'm one of them.
Wow.
So pretty much,
okay.
Yeah. So you have me, one guy, his character's name is Absolver. Another guy his character is like based off. Was it Big House Blues, where he's a character, a superhero, like working in a prison or something like that. Yeah, so
that's different.
Yeah, so we all are working together in a way, but at the same time, we all trying to get our books up and running. So pretty much it's gonna have the Powerverse logo with I can after this send you like a mock-up of how the cover is gonna look.
That'll be dope. I actually have a bit of a history with Vince and the Powerverse. They've been on the show before. And we've actually, he's been on the show twice, I believe. And
cool.
So we did a show kind of talking about the Kickstarter that they had for Blackout, which is the Purge character, the brother character.
I got the digital issue.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Yeah. And so I think he's doing a tremendous work over there, and he's kind of bringing some hidden treasures like yourself and the ODINA character, to a larger audience.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the art, is that something that you're going to be doing? Is there going to be another artist working on it? The art and the ink, and how is that handled?
Yeah, there's another artist. I'm pretty much like project manager.
Okay.
So I had to like contract out where I wrote the story.
All right.
But I pretty much had to get an artist and a colorist, in which they're both 2 Brazilian cats.
Now stop. Because I'm seeing this pattern. It's so funny, man. So the last 2 interviews, a couple of recent interviews, the artists were from the Philippines. And you found some guys from Brazil?
Wow. When I tell you, like, these the Brazilian and the that cast from Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do they work with you, but also they're at a cheaper price because it's out of country. But at the same time, they're gonna want to work with you, and they're gonna pretty much give you that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And once it circulates, you're gonna have other people be like, "Hey, do you need an artist?"
Right.
So it kind of like travels with them, like, because you'll have other people reaching out to you, be like, "Hey, do you need an artist?" And I'm just like, "No, I'm good at the moment, but thank you."
So I got to talk about this, man. I got to talk about this.
Okay.
This is one of those times when being, in America, and being, I don't like that first world thing, but being in the West kind of has that advantage because of the strong dollar against, whatever currency they have in the Philippines, whatever currency they have in Brazil.
Yes.
Like on the one, it's kind of funny when you're a worker bee, you hate outsourcing. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah,
you
no,
hate
I totally
outsourcing.
get that.
But when you are creating shit, outsourcing is the way to go, baby.
No, that's exactly how I feel. Because I'm, like I said, I'm like do it yourself mentality sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, doom. I gotta do it. Never mind, I'll do it. But outsourcing, you just like, you know what? I'm gonna have to do this because I got a bunch of other stuff to do.
I mean, you went to the Americans first, so I got to give you that. You know what I mean? You went to the Americans first.
No, if there was a way to work with an American artist, I'm all for it.
Right.
Like, especially like black artists.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah. But some of them, they either want to do their own thing and I respect that. Hey, everybody got their own dream.
Right.
So, I can't push it on.
Okay. All right. I don't want to keep you all night, man. I did want to allow you to tell the people about, do you have a date when you're going to launch your Kickstarter? I mean, Is there a way that people can support you? Go ahead. Tell us that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to try to launch the Kickstarter in August. And the way, they can contact me is on Instagram at Obsolete Studios Inc. Or on the Twitter, you can hit me up and you can send me messages, ask, or follow me. I keep people updated more so on my Instagram than anything. But also I'll be releasing like little snippets of it just to show what I got. So
now I'm looking on your Instagram right now, and hopefully this is not the wrong page, but it says check out page 1 in the Powerverse presents ODINA script. And then I see like some guys carrying like bags, look like sack potatoes or something.
Yes.
And some kids playing soccer. What's that about?
Yes, sir. That's the first page of the book.
Wow.
So
how did you feel when you saw it, man?
Dude, I was like, like how you feel like when you finally see something coming to fruition, you just like, yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
The way it's set up is the first page is kind of like what's it called? Like an introduction, like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had it set in the city of I can't say the name of the city, but it's in Sudan, basically.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
now with this particular story, just so I'm clear, you're crossing over with some other character creators in this story?
Not other characters, but I'm more so going into the mythology of the superheroes in ODINA. Like, how do these people get their powers?
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm a big fan of like mythology overall, like how these characters came to be, or how do they get their powers? Like, with X-Men, they got their powers because the Celestials was working on other type of, the Eternals and the Deviants. Right. But they left the X gene in some humans, which gave them mutations, that type of thing.
Damn, you know your stuff. All right. So we told the folks that you're gonna be doing a Kickstarter in August, and it's gonna be under Powerverse or Obsolete Studios.
Powerverse.
And so if they want to keep in touch with you, they just follow you on Obsolete Studios Inc. on Instagram. And what about Twitter and Facebook?
Twitter is obsolete_studio.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And Twitter, on Facebook, you can just It's just Obsolete Studios. Yeah.
Gotcha. Listen, brother, it's been a pleasure to have you on the program. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking to Mr. Rouse. I've been afraid to say his first name because I keep jacking it up. You notice I've said your name the whole time, man. I keep looking at it like, damn it, it's too many vowels. You know what I mean?
It's like you holding your breath before you speak. You just like,
oh, man. Oh, man. I'm going to try.
Okay.
Anna.
Go for it. Just go for it.
It looks like Onaji.
Yeah, that's it.
Damn, I could have been saying it. Yo, family, I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation with Onaji Rouse. My man's in them over at Obsolete Studios. He's doing that wonderful collaboration with the Powerverse, Vince White and Company, and definitely support his Kickstarter when it comes out. Real quick, you can follow him on the social media at obsolete_studio on Twitter. And just to make sure, and then of course, you know, he gave the information for Facebook and Instagram. You can see a lot of stuff happening on Instagram. And a quick shout out to Cambridge Analytics. Thank you for serving a hot steaming plate of COINTELPRO for everybody. Oh, we had it wrong, family. We was thinking about the Manchurian Candidate when they was working on the Manchurian voting block. Ain't that a bitch? Oh, man. Y'all be careful out there. JonVassell, JonVassell.com.